Sons and Daughters of God, Daily Devotional by Ellen G. White. We will love our neighbours as ourselves. February 15th. Love is the fulfilling of the law. Thou shalt love thy neighbour as thyself. Matthew chapter 22, verse 39. The divine law requires us to love God supremely and our neighbours as ourselves. Without the exercise of this love, the highest profession of faith is a mere hypocrisy. The worshipper of God will find that he cannot cherish one fibre of the root of selfishness. He cannot do his duty to his God and practice oppression towards his fellow men. The second principle of the law is like unto the first: thou shalt love thy neighbour as thyself. This do, and thou shalt live. These are the words of Jesus Christ, from which there can be no departure on the part of any man, woman, or youth who would be a true Christian. It is obedience to the principles of the commandments of God that molds the character after divine similitude. To leave a suffering neighbour unrelieved is a breach of the law of God. He who loves God will not only love his fellow men, but will regard with tender compassion the creatures which God has made. When the Spirit of God is in man, it leads him to relieve rather than to create suffering. We are to care for every case of suffering and to look upon ourselves as God's agents to relieve the needy to the very uttermost of our ability. We are to be labourers together with God. There are some who manifest great affection for their relatives, for their friends and favourites, who yet fail to be kind and considerate to those who need tender sympathy, who need kindness and love. With earnest hearts, let us inquire, who is my neighbour? Our neighbours are not merely our neighbours and special friends, are not simply those who belong to our church or think as we do. Our neighbours are the whole human family. We are to do good to all men, and especially to those who are of the household of faith. We are to give to the world an exhibition of what it means to carry out the law of God. We are to love God supremely and our neighbours as ourselves. Thank you for listening. This is your daily devotional. We hope you can join us again tomorrow. Please also remember to check the YouTube comments for further study notes. Sons and Daughters of God.